Hey chat. It looks like I'm back with another commentary video. I really wasn't planning on doing many of these, but I guess it kind of feels right and easy to do, so I'm like, why not? Today's kind of topic that I'm going to be talking about is what it's like to be a small content creator in the event scene, in the Minecraft scene in general, and also be a content creator with neurodivergencies because I think it's a scene that's not totally always talked about, but they definitely exist. And so I just want to spread some light on what that looks like. Um, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is opportunities because I feel like the biggest difference between a big content creator and content creator, at least in this scene, is the opportunities that they receive. Now, I know quite a few bigger content creators, quote unquote, and I've talked to them about like what that looks like. And from my understanding, the opportunities that they get invited to are far greater, like they have more opportunities, but also it's far easier to get involved and get invited. Um, you have numbers to back yourself up, which is frustrating, I guess, as a small content creator. Because, as I mentioned before, I've been here since January 2021, at least streaming wise. And I started posting old YouTube videos in like 2020 something. So I've been here a while. So it's not like I haven't, put in my time, done stuff. I've been here, I've been creating content, and I don't have a high number, and people who have been here half the time or whatever, or know more people or have higher numbers, they get invited to things. And now I'm not grateful for sorry, words are hard. It's not like I'm not grateful for the opportunities I do get invited to, because I'm very thankful for everything that I get invited to, even if it's like the smallest thing in the world. The fact that someone chose to invite me, or the things that I get into, always very awesome for me. But it often feels like I have to put in double the work to get half the opportunities. Um, like I don't have people actively reaching out to me being like, "Hey, can you come play my event?" As an event organizer, I know what it's like to DM someone and be like, "Hey, can you come play my event?" And let me just tell you, most of those people are bigger content creators. The smaller content creators are the ones reaching out to you. And to say it's a hard mentality to have, to understand that, hey, just because you're smaller, you are going to get less opportunities, and you do need to put in the work to get the opportunities. It's definitely difficult. Um, and another thing that comes with that is imposter syndrome. So, for those of you who aren't aware, imposter syndrome is basically the idea that you feel like you don't belong in a situation because you feel like you're less talented or less capable than the other people who also got like involved in that situation, even if you are just as capable as everyone else around you. Now, how that kind of translates to the event scene is kind of when I do get invited, or when a smaller creator does get invited, especially sitting next to bigger content creators, people with bigger numbers, more connections, etc., it does often feel like you're out of place. Like you're a polar bear in Arlington, Texas, if you know what I'm talking about. And it's definitely hard to tell yourself, hey, you deserve this opportunity just as much as everyone else around you. And it often leads, at least from what I've seen, to smaller content creators, when they don't hit those opportunities, falling off, just like not wanting to be content creators anymore because they got an opportunity that they very much deserved, and then the opportunities stop coming because they're not a big content creator, and it's like, oh well, I guess I'm not important enough anymore, I'm gonna stop. um And it's definitely something I've had to get used to over time. Like I've had opportunities. Like I played PBU, I played Block Wars the other day. Um and I'm very grateful for those opportunities. But I can't lie when I say it's hard when you go such a long period of time where you're not getting invited to events, you're not getting invited to recordings or whatever it be, and you're just kind of sitting there and you're looking at everyone else around you and you're like, I thought I did deserve this opportunity, but I guess I didn't because I'm not getting invited to them anymore. And that's like the counter side of imposter syndrome. Is there's imposter syndrome where it's like you don't feel like you deserve to be there, but then there's also like the opposite of that where once you do get that feeling of, oh hey, I do deserve to be here, when that thing that you do deserve doesn't appear anymore, it becomes harder to want to continue. um and it's very frustrating. um I will say, as my time here in the community has gone on, I've learned to understand that there's only so many people that can get invited to each thing. And you always need to put your best foot forward and present yourself as something that they want. And naturally, bigger content creators will always have the advantage over you. But you can't let that get to you, because if you let that get to you, you're not putting your best self forward. You're putting self forward, a jealous self, a frustrated self, a person that events won't want because they're like, oh, well, you're not being respectful to the people that did get the opportunity. So what I've learned is tell yourself constantly you deserve opportunities and to go for everything that you feel like you deserve or you want to go for. And if you don't hit it, don't let that get you down, because there's only so much you can do. Just move on to the next opportunity and tell yourself, hey, you did awesome, whether or not they took you, whether or not they invited you, whatever it be. I guess the next thing I want to talk about, this is going to be not a short, like a long commentary at all, but I just want to touch upon like one other thing, and that's being a neurodivergent content creator, being someone who thinks differently than other people. I'm going to put the definition of neurodivergent on screen. And this could mean a lot of different things for a lot of different people. For me, I have anxiety disorders, ADHD, autism, which means basically my brain thinks differently. And it's very hard in this community to be both a small content creator and a neurodivergent content creator. A lot of content creation is putting in hard work, putting in the extra effort. And for me, I have trouble sitting still for 30 minutes. So sitting here and trying to edit a video is quite difficult, to be honest, because I'm like, oh gosh, I need to get up and move my body every 5 seconds. Similarly, the anxiety of trying to create opportunities for yourself. One thing I haven't touched upon is, while you can get invited to all these things, you can also create your own opportunities. I've done that a lot. When I don't have opportunities, I create them for myself. I have made an SMP. I made my own events. I host my own recordings. I make the opportunities for myself when I can't seem to find them. But the problem being the anxiety you get around organizing those and creating your own opportunities. I really struggle with communicating with other people, like social interaction, in terms of I have high levels of social anxiety. And when I'm really comfortable with someone, I can open up quite easily. But until then, I get kind of stuck. And so one of my biggest struggles has been reaching out to people and doing that organization thing. And even if it's not even a big creator, like even a person I've just never spoken to, but I think is really cool, it's hard to reach out to them because I struggle to talk to people I've never met. So what I've actually started doing and I recommend this to everyone who has social anxiety in this community, is just add people on Discord. Just follow people on Twitter. They don't have to follow you back. They don't have to add you back. But it's a great way to not have to talk to the person, but interact with them. Interact with the person. Interact with new people. Like someone's tweet. Reply to someone's tweet. You're not talking to them one-on-one. You're just starting an interaction. And if they respond back or they sound interest back, then you started an interaction, but they've started the interaction for you. Just like that. But yeah, I just wanted to make it pretty clear that it's a different mindset to be neurodivergent in this community. And being a small content creator makes that 10 times harder because you don't have the natural numbers to lean back on. Not to say I, don't love my small base, like my small little community, mostly consisting of my friends. I really appreciate every time they show up for me. But obviously, I'm sitting next to content creators who are averaging thousands on thousands of views. And when I put out my stuff, that however long that takes me, I'm getting maybe 30. So it's definitely a difficult mentality to be in and a position to be in. And I guess what I'm trying to say by mentioning this is less so to, oh, pity me, but to give advice to all other neurodivergent content creators out there, especially smaller ones, in that I don't think you should ever let yourself and your struggles get to stop you from what you want to do. You will have obstacles all the time. That's just unfortunately how your life will work, especially in this community. You will hit obstacles with communication, with working just as hard and focusing, and you will hit these struggles. And just know that it's not a bad thing. It just means that you have to find a different way, but it doesn't mean it can't happen. I'll give a great example. I have been editing a lot of videos behind the scenes, and I have a hard time sitting down and editing. So something that I've learned to do is switch between projects. I'll edit one project, then I'll script another project. I'll record something for something, and I'll switch between them every 30 minutes so my brain can focus and it's called task switching. It's actually a really common method for studying, where you don't get bored because you're switching between different subjects and you actually retain what you're doing better. I found that works for me for editing. So what you have to do is you have to try and find what works for you in this community. I know it's going to be hard, but know that you can still do it. And yeah, I want to close this out by saying this commentary is not to hate on any big creators or hate on anyone who's neurotypical or whatever it be. This is just sharing my perspective on the world and how I view this community, and just honestly to give advice to other people like me, because I've been here so long and I thought about all this a lot. As I mentioned, my content is currently going. I've got a couple videos working in the background. I think I am actually going to keep up commentary. So if there's anything you're interested in me talking about, let me know in the comments below. I plan on talking at least about what it's like to organize a Minecraft event, because I think the perspective that people have is very different. I think there's some other things I could talk about, but I just kind of want to know what you want me to talk about. I think that would be interesting. And yeah, that's all for today. Appreciate talking to you.